The so-called Pandora Papers is the latest data leak exposing the reality of tax havens where the wealthy send their money to hide it from taxation, breaking zero laws in the process. With us this morning is Toby Sanger. He's the Executive Director of Canadians for Tax Fairness. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's important to distinguish, first of all, that what the Pandora Papers detail is tax avoidance, which is when people and corporations legally shelter money in offshore accounts. And that's different from tax evasion, which is when illegal means are used to hide money from the government, like misrepresenting income. So why has tax avoidance been allowed to remain legal for so long?
Well, that's a good question. There actually can be a gray area between tax avoidance and tax evasion, depending on what the laws are and what the courts decide. What this leak has showed, and I think some of the viewers will remember the Paradise Papers and the Panama Papers. Mm-hmm. But what this leak has showed is that a lot of the people that have taken advantage of it are the rich and powerful, heads of state, ministers. There are dozens of prime ministers, presidents, monarchs on the list there. And they're the ones who make the rules. So that's why there's been so little progress in terms of changing the laws and, frankly, perpetuating the existence of tax havens and tax avoidance on a massive scale, as this leak has demonstrated.
And as you point out, the numbers are incredible to read, but really, as you say, this is the tip of the iceberg. Bringing it home here to Canada, according to the Canadian Revenue Agency, more than $14 billion in tax revenue is lost every year due to sheltering by individuals and corporations. So what knock-on effects does that have for the rest of us who can't afford to use tax havens, don't know about tax havens, don't have access to them, and who bears the brunt of that?
That's a very good question, very good point. Those are estimates by the Canada Revenue Agency. The Parliamentary Budget Office estimated that it might be up to $25 billion that's lost each year just from corporate tax dodging, international corporate tax dodging. Now, what are some of the big effects? Some of the big effects are increasing inequality. I mean, we've seen the rich getting richer. It's 10 years since the Occupy Wall Street movement, and that was all about the wealth of the 1% versus the 99%. And the situation's just got worse because it really is the wealthiest that are most able to take advantage of tax havens and that have the most to gain. But it's also the largest corporations. I mean, it's companies like Amazon, other large corporations that can take advantage of tax havens, reduce their tax bills. It's not your Main Street businesses. So that's also led to greater corporate concentration, unfairness, inequality, and it's also bad for the economy as well.
I really like how Oxfam framed this when the papers came out. They said, put those numbers into context. That's where our hospitals are going. That's where our schools are going and our money for infrastructure, ways to fix affordable housing. So what steps can the Canadian government and other governments around the world take to dissuade legal tax sheltering?
That's a really good point as well. There are a number of things that can be done. Well, first of all, we shouldn't have agreements with countries that are clearly tax havens and allow people to bring their income, allow people and corporations to bring their income back to Canada tax-free. We should have much greater transparency. This was a big leak, but a lot of this information should be open and public in any case. There are pretty important negotiations now going on through the OECD involving over 100 different nations about some pretty fundamental reforms of international corporate tax rules. And Canada should be supporting a much stronger position on this. President Biden and his Secretary Treasurer Janet Yellen have put forward some strong positions on this, including a minimum corporate tax rate, and Canada should be supporting that at a substantial level as well.
Toby Sanger, thanks for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.